What's up, bitches? It's your boy, War Machine of the 3 Count Mafia here. And welcome back to another episode of the 3 Count. In this episode, we're just going to tackle the network stuff for this past week. You know, 205 Live, NXT, NXT UK. Both episodes. So, let's go ahead and jump right into 205 Live, the most exciting hour on TV. It really is pretty good. It's picked up from where it was. Anyway, started the show off with a one-on-one match between Noam Dar and Tony Nese, and this was a really good back-and-forth match. Wish I could remember it. Friday was such a long time ago. Or was it Thursday? Yeah, it was Friday. Anyway, Tony Nese won with the help of Buddy Murphy. Buddy Murphy distracted Noam Dar for Tony Nese to basically set Noam Dar up for the running Nese. Anyway, next up we had Akira Tozawa and the Brian Kendrick getting on the same page, defeating some local competitors. Brian Kendrick even joined Tozawa in the post match. It was fun. And then we capped the night off with a one-on-one match between Grand Metalik and TJP, which this match had a little bit of flair to the start of it. Because, of course, Lucha House Party came out there, Lucha, Lucha. Wait, it's Lucha, yeah. That sort of shenanigans. And then, Marie Kanellis came out, introducing a masked TJP and a masked Mike Kanellis. It was pretty fun. And this match was a really good back and forth contest. Grand Metalik did pick up a win on TJP, and while him and his Lucha cohorts were celebrating, Maria Kanellis just runs out there screaming bloody murder, all to distract the luchadors from Mike Kanellis coming out of nowhere, walloping the Lucha trios, and TJP joining in the action, and that's how we ended 205 Live. Oh, and before we get off of 205 Live, it was announced next week that it will be a tag team match pitting Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali against Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese. But the one big thing to take away from this episode of 205 Live was there was no P jokes. Oh, God. I swear, the faster they can drop this P thing, the better. Anyway, next we move on to NXT. This week's NXT was not that thrilling considering it was post-takeover. Yeah. So, video package and exclusive footage and interviews and whatnot. So, anyway, we capped the show off with, we started the show off with Keith Lee taking on a local competitor by the name of Fidel Bravo. Go ahead and take 5 minutes. Guess who won? Or rather, 5 seconds. Keith Lee. Bask in his glory. Anyway, next up we had Lars Sullivan against Keita Murray. Take another 5 seconds. Guess who won there? Yeah, the answer is Lars Sullivan. Anyway, after the match, Lars Sullivan continued to brutalize Keita Murray to the point where Keith Lee came out and he actually gave Lars Sullivan what for with a with a tackle. Anyway, I think he did that. I think he did that pounce shoulder tackle where he sent Lars Sullivan flying. Anyway, yeah. Then later on the night, the two were brawling in a locker room, and William Regal decided to make a match next week. Lars Sullivan versus Keith Lee. And on the subject of Lars Sullivan, we grossly overlooked the fact that Lars Sullivan will be going up to main roster. So this could be his swan song rivalry. You know, once he loses to Keith Lee, he's going to be whisked away to either Raw or SmackDown. Our hope and the internet's hope is he goes to SmackDown. Because Raw is too overpopulated with big men. Big, sweaty lads. Yeah, anyway. And then we come to a head at NXT's main event as Nikki Cross took on Candice LeRae because Nikki Cross knew that Johnny attacked Aleister Black, and Candice blames the discord of their marriage on Nikki Cross because she knew. I mean, why? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Nikki Cross just knew. She was there. She was a witness. She knew. It's not like she snitched on Johnny. I mean, well, either way, Nikki Cross was in Candice's head for most of the match until the Twisted Sister of NXT won with the Purge. You know, it was pretty good back and forth. And that's how we closed out another NXT for this episode. Next, we move on to NXT UK, and before we get started, it was announced yesterday. Yes, it was announced. Yeah, okay. It was announced yesterday that NXT UK will get its first takeover show come this January. It will be Takeover Blackpool. And you know what? It was literally a day after me and Rod were talking about NXT UK having its own takeover. I swear, maybe it's like WWE just big brothers us sometimes and listens in on what we have to say about the wrestling world. Anyway, we start NXT UK off with another round with the quarterfinals to the UK Women's Championship tourney as Rhea Ripley took on Xia Brookside. This was a inevitable. Squish is the wrong word, but that's close enough. As well, Xia Brookside, she had a little bit of offense in. You know, she was definitely quicker, but she got destroyed by Rhea Ripley. I mean, we all saw that coming. She's great though. Xia Brookside's great. Don't take anything away from her. She's definitely wise beyond her years, but she was no match against Rhea Ripley. So, Rhea Ripley advances to the semifinals. Next up, we had another enhancement talent murder at the hands of Eddie Dennis. Yeah. Don't sleep on Eddie Dennis. This cat is ridiculous. I mean, we even watched him at Hello Wembley, and that match was freaking ridiculous. Aside from the unbreakable tables. Anyway, yeah, Eddie Dennis murdered another enhancement talent. And we had Mark Andrews defeat the Wild Boar Mike Hitchman in a clash of styles. As Hitchman, the powerhouse, took on the high flying, high fiving, stage diving Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews won because he's Mark Andrews. And then we closed out the. Oh wait, we didn't close out the show. My bad. The next match was yet another quarterfinal match in the NXT Women's Championship tourney. As Toni Storm took on, Dios mío, madre de Dios, Isla Dawn. She is so drop dead gorgeous. Anyway, yeah, this was a really, really lopsided fight. Toni Storm just destroyed Isla Dawn. No contest. Just, yeah, Toni Storm advanced. Wow, just beat Isla Dawn in short order. Dios mío, madre de Dios. Anyway, we closed out the show with, speaking of Spanish, we closed out the show with the Irish Ace, Jordan Devlin, a.k.a. the Finn Balor lookalike, taking on Ligero. This was a really, really good match. But unfortunately for Ligero, Jordan Devlin picked up the win, and he screamed at the top of his lungs that he's coming for Pete Dunne. He's gonna make a name for himself at Pete Dunne's expense. Make a name for myself. Anyway, then we move on to the second episode for this week. As started the show off with Rhea Ripley taking on Dakota Kai in the semifinals of the NXT UK Women's Championship Tournament. Oh, God. Jeez, this is going to get repetitive saying NXT UK and then the division and then the championship and then a tourney. Oh, God. Might just shorten it to UK. Anyway, yeah. This was another, actually, yeah, this was a pretty good match. Dakota Kai yet again had a speed advantage, and she had an unmatched kicking prowess, but unfortunately, the cute kicking Kiwi of Team Kick succumbed to the Riptide as Rhea Ripley just steamrolled over her and moved on to the finals. Next up in the tag team division, we had the King of the Mobs, Flash Morgan Webster, taking on the high-fiving, stave-dive, and high-flying Mark Andrews. Taking on Saxton Huxley and Joseph Connors. I gotta say, I like Joseph Connors. I've liked him since he was in Defiant, or What Culture as it was. And it's nice to see him make his NXT UK... Wait, I think he's already made it. Yeah, he's already made his NXT UK debut. So this is the second time around. It's nice to see that they're using him. Anyway, unfortunately for Saxton Huxley and Mr. Connors, they succumb to the King of the Mobs and Mark Andrews in pretty good fashion. After the match, Joseph Connors viciously assaulted Musclecat Jesus Saxton Huxley, setting up a feud for them. Or wait, was it the other way around? Oh, okay. That's what it was. Saxton Huxley was in dire straits. Connors wanted to tag in, but Saxton said, "Nope, screw you, buddy." And after the match, Joseph Connors just beat the holy hell out of him. Next up, speaking of holy hell, we had a collision of colossal... Damn it, I tried to do an alliteration, but damn. I couldn't come up with a third C word. Anyway, we had a mammoth megaton match. There we go. Alliteration, bitches. Anyway, as Tyson T-Bone took on the Bomber, or as I like to call him, Massive Dave Mastiff. And this was a brutal battle, um, as Tyson T-Bone cemented his place as the first person to knock Dave Mastiff off his tree trunk-like legs. But in the end, Mastiff won with his trademark corner cannonball. It's unbelievable that that guy can soar through the air like that. Anyway, we closed out this show of this episode of NXT UK with Toni Storm taking on the fashionista Jenny in the finals of the UK Women's Championship tourney. See, it's a little bit easier when I knocked off the NXT because you folks already knew I was talking about NXT UK. So, yeah. Unless you didn't, then I'm just an ass for assuming people are smart. Like I always am. Anyway, back to wrestling. This was yet another good match. Yeah, it's apparent that these ladies have have worked against each other before. Because I can tell a pretty good match. Anyway, it was Toni Storm who got the victory with, her trademark Storm Zero. And I figured out the difference between Storm Zero in WWE and Storm Zero in the independents, say Progress. Storm Zero in Progress is a pile driver, while in WWE it's a Tiger Bomb. Because necks, they're important. Anyway, after the match, they had the women's championship on the pedestal at the top of the ramp. They basically had Toni Storm, Rhea Ripley, basically doing the thing they do between fighters where they take the photo op of them and the prize. Of course Johnny Saint was there. So anyway, yeah, Rhea Ripley basically, just kind of laughed off Toni Storm, gave her a shove, and then officials prevented a fight. So yeah, look at NXT UK, no backstage fights yet. I mean, Travis Banks did get knocked out, but we didn't see that. So Johnny Saint already best GM. He stopped people from kicking each other's asses in the locker room. I mean, for all we know, Travis Banks could have been really clumsy. Anyway, it's going to wrap up. See, that's why I hate doing these shows by myself. There's nobody to play off of. See, it would have elicited some sort of reaction if Rodimus were here. Of course, if Mainstream were here, he'd go, oh, oh. Anyway, I am War Machine MJ of the 3 Count Mafia. Thanks for watching 3 Count. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Head over to Facebook and follow us, 3 Count Mafia. Head over to Twitter, follow us at 3 Count Mafia. Yeah, and if you like what you see, tell other people about it. Tell other marks about us. Show them to us. Spread our fame, infamy, and glory like an STD. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we will see you cats later.